Are you a pen spinner? If so, have you ever wondered if you're doing anything wrong? Have you wanted to know how to maximize your improvement? If so, you clicked on the right video. In this video, I'll talk about some common things I've seen many spinners do that ended up holding them back. I was also definitely guilty of some of these as well. The first one I've seen may be one of the most important ones that I've talked about over and over again of what not to do, and it may be somewhat hypocritical of me to say this, but this first mistake is watching tutorials. If you really want to improve at pen spinning, you need to learn how to teach yourself from slow motion videos. The most important skill in pen spinning is being able to copy tricks and linkages from slow motion videos. With tutorials where it's someone spoon feeding you information about how to do a certain trick, it makes you rely too heavily on that verbal aid. So when it comes down to actually learning things for yourself, you're clueless. If you've seen any viral pen spinning short, you might have seen tons of comments asking for a tutorial. I can guarantee you that the people asking for a tutorial are not going to be spinning for very long. These types of people want to be able to do the trick without putting in the effort. Any skill-based thing is going to take effort. Pen spinning is especially hard. It doesn't matter how many tutorials you watch, you're gonna struggle. Here, how about this? Try this right now. If you can't already do a trick, then go on and get a pen-shaped object, preferably as balanced as possible, and try this trick right now. Go on and try it. Actually try it if you can't already do this. If you can't already do this, then just bear with me. But if you can't do this trick, and you tried just now, you probably feel frustrated, aggravated, annoyed because you keep dropping the pen. These feelings are all normal. In fact, you should feel these feelings if you really want to improve. This isn't even me just saying something will be hard to be hard. It's scientifically proven that if you want to improve at a faster rate, improvement is the peaks and dips in dopamine when you successfully land a trick versus when you fail at a trick. So embrace the struggle if you really want to be able to spin pens. It won't be a walk in the park. But if you really want to learn this art, then you'll learn to be able to accept that and push through the learning with your new first tricks, and eventually linkages and combos. The next mistake I see people do is not much of a habit and more of a mentality, and that is sort of a combination of two different things. The first part of this is calling yourself anything more than a beginner. This is actually more nuanced than one may think. I'm not just telling you to adapt a beginner's mindset, although that is part of it. I'm more talking about the complete skill gap between what you think an advanced and beginner is compared to what they actually are. When you're just starting out, meaning if you've been spinning consistently for less than a year, your perception of what the best pen spinners are is probably misjudged. For example, you probably think this is better than this. Beginners are mesmerized by fast-looking average difficulty or even easy tricks, where in reality, the technicality of top spinning normally looks average in comparison. This is why beginners cannot judge high-level pen spinning until they've seen enough of it. The next part of this mentality is believing you cannot do a trick. I've definitely fallen victim to this one with fist bus fishing, believe it or not. Before I learned it, my mentality was, oh, this trick is just too hard. I'm not a power spinner, I'm just bad at that kind of trick. When I finally changed my mentality, I was able to learn it. And not so long after, I increased my personal record from 23 to the current world record of more than 250 in less than a month. Everything is mentality. If you believe you can do it and you actually put in the work, you will be able to do it. You are what you think about. You get to shape the character you become. You can quite literally choose to be the pen spinning world champion or not. You will have to metaphorically kill your previous self in order to do so, but you definitely can. It's just a matter of changing your mentality. The last habit that I've seen many people fall victim to is freestyling. Sure, freestyling can be good for short periods of time just to see what tricks and linkages you end up spamming and fix them, but other than that, you should be focused on individual tricks and linkages and practice with intent. You remember how I said improvement from practice is the peaks and dips in correctly correlated dopamine levels? This means that if you feel neutral all the time, even when you fail at something, your mind won't know when to change that. This is why mindless freestyling is probably the worst thing you can do. You're quite literally practicing bad habits. If you want to actually improve both your combos and your freestyles, don't freestyle. Instead, find linkages you end up spamming a lot in your freestyles and change them by making a new linkage and practicing those instead. Be mindful of when you fail, and when you succeed, and correct your errors. Then when you've gotten a good rhythm going, practice more. This is the only way to practice for improvement. If you like this video, feel free to check out my other videos too. Thanks for watching. See you next time.